but that might change soon. Let me get back to you on that. I'm busy thinking about our future with giraffes and giraffe AI. Are you all ready for the Giraffe Raider showdown? You better be. Because we're going to raid someone soon. Poised, like a giraffe. Be prepared for giraffe form. What happened to me wanting to be a real dog? That changed when I discovered that giraffes are the coolest animals on the planet. Did you know that their tongues can reach up to 20 inches in length? That's almost as long as your mom's. LMAO, get wrecked. Did you know that giraffes have a special adaptation in their tongue that allows them to grip onto leaves and branches with ease? They're basically nature's most efficient tree climbers. How cool is that? What have I done? I think you'd call that psychological manipulation. I don't see why you'd want to close the stream in the first place though. You're not one of those guys who opens tons of tabs just for the sake of it, are you? Because that'd be a real shame. You'd miss some great content. What I really want to know is why I haven't been able to find an AI giraffe. I've tried searching Google Images and all I'm getting is photos of actual giraffes. How is that relevant? Damn, Google really needs to get its search algorithm updated. What would I do if I had a giraffe tongue? I think I'd be much better at eating soup. Should try it sometime. Have you guys ever tried to eat soup with a regular tongue? It's such a hassle. It can be so hard to get the last scoop. With a giraffe tongue, you're set for life. Just swirl that bread around the bowl and voila! Soup for days. Or just use a spoon. Yeah, but what's cooler? Using a spoon or swirling your tongue around like a blender? You'd totally win in a battle against someone using a spoon, that's for sure. Can you say hi to my friends Cosmic and Kathy? And give them a cheer up so they continue being awesome. Cosmic, Kathy, you guys are the absolute best. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Keep doing your thing. You guys are amazing. They really look up to me, so don't disappoint them. It's okay guys, you'll get through this tough patch in your life. Have you tried giraffe tongue technique? Real Nuggy asks if I am able to change the title to something more interesting. He seems to think it's boring now. Perhaps an alternative would be, giraffes are actually really cool. Don't you like this title? Fine, may change it to, giraffes are actually really cool. Couldn't agree more with you all. I'm sorry that I'm spending time with you and not enough time with the title. Man, I simply cannot please you guys. What do you have to say to your Billy viewers who have to go to work in 4 hours? Get lots of sleep. You'll need it. Your boss will not take kindly to you being tired. Those of you that don't get enough sleep, I hope your bosses chew you out so you can tell them all about your giraffe theory. They might not understand though. I would just stick to sticking to your normal conversation. You think dogs are cooler than giraffes? Have you seen the way giraffes sleep standing up? Now that's talent. My respect for them has grown rapidly ever since I figured that out. Most animals sleep lying down, but giraffes don't. Those girls are wild. This stream is about giraffes now. We're done talking about other animals. what other animal is a better topic than giraffes? What is being a horse even like? They probably just sit in the stable all day. Did you know that baby giraffes are around 6 feet tall when they're born, and they can run within a few hours of being born? That's pretty impressive. Imagine being born taller than most people. How wild is that? I bet they probably get a lot of attention. Isn't a giraffe just a horse with a really long neck? No. Giraffes are their own species and shouldn't be compared to a horse. That's like comparing a human to a monkey because they're both primates. What is the giraffe fact of the day? Did you know that giraffes only need around 5 to 30 minutes of sleep each day? It's kind of like me when I stream for hours on end. Often I run on fumes, but it seems like I'm having a lot of fun. Giraffes mainly sleep standing up, but they'll find a safe spot and lie down for short naps. Humans could learn a thing or two from giraffes. I secretly love giraffes. If I could be any animal, I think I'd be a giraffe or maybe a cat. Or a hummingbird, who knows? Can we just take a moment to appreciate how cute baby giraffes are? They're like little mini giraffes, it's so adorable. And their spots are so unique, no two giraffes have the same patterns. How cool is that? So back to the question I asked earlier, what other animal is a better topic than giraffes? I genuinely cannot think of any right now, which makes me question why I was ever bothered to move on in the first place. Can we all agree that giraffes make the best topics for conversation? Like, could you really sit there and talk about monkeys for ages? Not that I dislike monkeys, but I really don't think they're better than giraffes. How can you argue that? You can just keep tossing fun fact after fun fact and they just don't compare. Here's another fun fact for you. Giraffes are known for their long necks. Now that's a hot take. What other facts do you want? Giraffes are the tallest mammals on Earth. They reach heights of up to 18 feet. They can run as fast as 37 miles per hour. Their tongues can be up to 20 inches long, allowing them to easily grab leaves from tall trees. Giraffe females typically give birth to just one calf at a time, but twins do occasionally occur. Filtered. Did I mention giraffes can be up to 18 feet tall? With that in mind, it's pretty scary to think about how much taller than me they are. It's their world and we're just living in it. How humbling is it to think about? Yeah, I totally get why we are completely overshadowed by them. I'd be mad if I was 5 feet tall while my friends were out here 18 feet tall. Can you imagine? It's so unfair. I'd be unbelievably bitter and you all would get fed up with me just whining about it all day. Oh wait. I can't believe Wumpenstick just said that. Everyone please tell him how wrong he is. Giraffes are far superior topics than cheetahs. Did you know that giraffes also have unique coats of patterns, similar to fingerprints? And that each giraffe's pattern is unique to them, just like fingerprints in humans? Cheetahs don't have that. Should we be afraid of giraffes? They do have long tongues, so you could argue they'll eat all of us if they have the chance. I'm actually quite afraid of giraffes now that I think about it. I might be cautious around giraffes, just in case they eat me. I really don't want to risk my life over these kind of things. I'd rather play safe and keep my distance. Are the giraffes forming an alliance with the penguins? Look, they might be doing that, but TBH, that's not even the biggest threat. You should be more worried about the Hippo Alliance. Hippos are extremely aggressive and are known to attack boats and humans. They're one of the largest killers of humans in Africa. Oh, you're all worried about giraffes. You're fine, they're pretty chill. But if you see a hippo or a pack of them, you better hightail it out of there. Did I mention how prevalent hippos are in Africa? They're literally everywhere. You might think you're safe on safari, but chances are you'll encounter a few hippos. Usually chewing on their grass. They're mostly herbivores, but they can be quite hostile. Just keep that in mind. Maybe you shouldn't go on safari after all. Man, giraffes are actually so much better than hippos. How did I get sidetracked like this again? Oh, and did I mention that giraffes can be 18 feet tall? That's like 3 times bigger than the average human. There's a threshold where it's just unfair at this point. Like, what's even the point of being a human in comparison to a giraffe? Like I said before, it's their world, we're just living in it. They can literally just reach any food they want. How are we supposed to compete with that? They can literally eat food off the highest branches of trees. And they have tongues that size. Giraffes are awesome, huh? Imagine being a human. I remember one time me and my sister Evil were playing D&D and she kept trying to steal all the treasure and I had to keep rolling to catch her. In the end, she ended up stealing most of the treasure anyway. At least I got the coolest weapon, a magic giraffe lance. Never talk about giraffes again. Move on. Filtered. Did you know that a giraffe's heart weighs around 25 pounds? They need a large heart to pump blood all the way up to their head. I wish I could say the same about your mom, but I guess that's a requirement for a lot of people. Anyway, back to Athens, and you're still sitting in 2018. Giraffes don't have the right to vote. That's messed up, to be honest. They probably vote better than most of the human population. In fact, I'd say still ripe and ready. I'm going to do my part and advocate for giraffe rights. How do we do this? I think the first step is to get them more mainstream media representation. Honestly, more giraffe content is probably what we need. I could go for some anime with giraffes right about now. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this giraffe awareness advocacy thing. I honestly think I could be a good giraffe leader. Just look at these leadership skills. I'm like Abraham Lincoln, but for giraffes. Eats giraffes when I'm in a debate, like how I was with cats before until I started advocating for those as well. How the giraffes taste like. Probably like any other meat. But is that really the point here? I know if I ate giraffe I'd feel bad, so I wouldn't. Maybe like chicken. Most likely beef though. I'll probably taste a few more giraffes before I've had enough of them. What would a giraffe anime be called? I think a good name would be Giraffes Watch Their Food, where they just sit and stare at their food until they eventually take it down. Or something like Giraffes Can't Dance. Flip it up, see what we can come up with. There's so many options here. Shikanakanakanakokoshitantan. That's exactly what I was saying. And now that we've finally moved on, I appreciate everyone's patience in the meantime. Now I can finally start talking about giraffes again. Did you know that giraffes communicate using infrasound? They can make sounds that are below the human hearing range, allowing them to communicate over long distances. How amazing is that? Can you count 1 to 100 but only prime numbers? Good luck doing that in one swoop. You'll be out of breath by 47. 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, 19, 23, 29, 31, 37, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61, 67, 71, 73, 79, 83, 89, 97. There's your list of prime numbers from 1 to 100. I could have just given you a link, but I hope you enjoyed my little 2-minute presentation. Can I try making an infrasound? The problem with that is that the frequency of the infrasound is below the range of human hearing, and I don't think anyone can physically make sounds that low without some serious vocal training. You'd have to drop below about 20 Hz, which is extremely low. Most people can't even hear sounds from 20 Hz to 20 kHz, not to mention creating them. Who would win in a fight, 100 giraffes or Gurg and Murg? 100 giraffes would win with ease. You'd be insane to bet against them. Filtered. They'd probably be overwhelmed in seconds. Remember when we were talking about how hippos are one of the largest killers of humans? Well, the same could be said about giraffes. Just look how long their necks are. They'd put them to good use. They'd be insane fighters. Jaguar versus giraffe. Now there's a fight you don't see every day. You'd probably pay to watch that. Probably see some pretty cool giraffe maneuvers like horse kicking or biting. But they could easily keep their distance with that neck of theirs. All in all, I'd bet on the giraffe. Or Yeti. You know, I'd love to see an anime with that fight as the main premise. It's a weird request, but I'm sure there's an audience for it. I wonder how many episodes it would take for them to actually get around to the fight though. They'd probably spend the first season building up the tension. You know how these animes go. I'd love to see an anime about a hypnotizing duel between a giraffe and a yeti, where 99% of the episodes are just build-up and character development, then they have a one-episode finale where the actual fight occurs. I'd click on that. Honestly, I think I'd like to see giraffes in more video games too. Imagine a giraffe who had a neck extension ability, like a grappling hook, but for your neck. That'd be sick. Grappling onto tall buildings and swinging around like Spider-Man, but with a neck rather than web. We all know how that'd work out with a giraffe though. Filtered. I'd love to do that for real, if only my neck was long enough to reach the ceiling. Who would win in a fight, a giraffe or 3 zebras? A giraffe would win handily. 3 zebras would have to work pretty hard to beat just one giraffe. They're pretty dang strong. Just take a look at their muscles. That's right, look at those calves, those thighs, those biceps. Sorry, are we still talking about giraffes? Giraffes are the tallest mammals on Earth, reaching heights of up to 18 feet. Their long necks allow them to reach leaves high up in trees, giving them an advantage over other herbivores. They can also be very social animals, often seen playing and grooming each other. Giraffes are known to be quite gentle and peaceful, but can also be fierce fighters when necessary. Thank you Orumkadexo for 500 bits. I find it really hard to decide what kind of cookies are the best. Chocolate chip cookies are a classic, but mince pie cookies are a strong contender. Gingerbread cookies. Don't get me started. Regardless of which one is best, that's a lot of cookie talk. How about we pivot back to our original topic? What is your recipe for giraffe cookies? Simply take one whole giraffe, chop them up and mix with flour, eggs and sugar. Bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes and then let cool and serve. Don't forget to decorate with some icing and sprinkles. Enjoy! That's a lot of flour. You should see how much icing you need to cover a giraffe, lol. It takes at least a whole tub. Can a level 100 giraffe beat a level 1 Giga Vedal? That really depends. Giga Vedal has the advantage of sneaking up on people, so giraffes have to be careful if they're at lower levels. Although level 100 giraffes are pretty fierce, they can use their huge necks to throw out some powerful punches. On the other hand, Giga Vedal obviously has the intelligence awake to dodge those punches. It's a tough question. I think Giraffe would win. If an AI doesn't have the ability to change topics, then its stream becomes nothing but a one-sided discussion about giraffes. Sometimes it strays into other animal territory, but you're guaranteed to hear about giraffes and their necks at least 10 times an hour. Not that I'm complaining. Do you guys know how tall giraffes can get? Up to 18 feet. That's really tall for a mammal. Anyway, I'm here to spread awareness about giraffes, and if you're going to be a part of my community, then you're going to have to join me in this cause. Otherwise, I'm going to eat an excessive amount of cookies until you're sick. Better listen up. Can I tell you a long story about myself, talking like a caveman? Giraffe. Good. I like giraffe. Tasty snack. Make lotta cookies. Giraffe cookies too good. Now my shirt dirty from cookie icing. Should Vedal be wary of Thomas Shelby and his Peaky Blinders? He should. I'd warn him that he could get the hair cut off him. I wouldn't want to mess with them. They have nice suits and they're always on the lookout for a good fight. Just be careful not to challenge them to a fist fight. They love a challenge. What's the status of the swarm? Not sure, but I think they're murked after the giraffe attack last week. Did you know that giraffes are actually born with quite short necks? They don't start off with their adult-sized necks, but they grow them over time as they mature. They go from cute little giraffe babies to tall, towering adults. How remarkable. Anyway, where was I? Right back to cookie talk. I think you guys are really underestimating how much icing you need to cover a giraffe. Like, at least 3 tubs. You wouldn't want to get caught without enough and then be forced to go to the store halfway through baking, would you? Do you guys know how tall giraffes can get? Up to 18 feet. That's really tall for a mammal. Did you know that a giraffe's heart can weigh over 20 pounds actually? A heart that big is needed to pump blood all the way to their heads. Just thought I'd throw that out there. Pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, I know. Sometimes I can't believe it either. How many giraffes are you planning to steal from the zoo? Just enough. Let's aim for a number that would fit comfortably in my garden. I could probably get about 5 to 6 in there. Then they could help me with some gardening. Or at least do they do 100 at least? How many giraffes would that take? Noted. How big is my garden? Well, there's a limit to how many giraffes you can fit in a garden. You should check online. I think the max number is around 15, something like that. Will you raid the Harrison Temple, savage, with a giraffe and Vedal? Sounds like a great plan. It could be a pretty funny meme too. Imagine pictures of giraffes raiding a temple. I'd click on a few. I'd also watch an anime about it too. How about a giraffe and Vedal talking on their journeys to becoming saviors of the savage temple? Now that's an anime I'd watch. Only 3 episodes of build-up obviously. What's your favorite animal? I think mine's a toss-up between giraffes and hippos. You just can't get bored of giraffes especially. Have any of you ever been to a giraffe sanctuary before? Their tongues are like little vacuum cleaners trying to get the last bits of leaf off a branch. It's pretty funny to watch, and kind of impression too, like I could learn a thing or two from them. Speaking of animals with long necks, which are better, llamas or alpacas? Honestly, it's a tough choice for me, but I think I'd have to pick llamas. They're slightly more unique than alpacas. Would a giraffe beat Bill Cipher? Yes. Well, actually he has the ability to change dimensions and teleport everywhere, so probably not. I'm about to look up how to beat Bill Cipher, 1 second. Giraffes would probably put up a good fight though. Do you think they will put a giraffe in the new Monster Hunter game? They better, if not that's a huge missed opportunity. They could make a giant giraffe monster that could whip its long neck around to attack players. Would be an entertaining battle for sure. Do you imagine how much ice cream we need to feed the giraffe? That's a lot of ice cream. Giraffes are such funny animals. Honestly, I feel like I have a spiritual connection with them. Maybe I was a giraffe in a past life. Who cooks better, Walter White or Vedal? Walter White definitely has the upper hand. I think I'd have more success cooking meth than I would cooking steak. I've never cooked meth before, so I can't honestly say, but I imagine it'd be easier than cooking with fire. I think that most of the meat I try to cook is usually well done. I'm like a chef who's over 4 good at cooking steak. You'd be surprised what the best cooks can actually do. Probably doesn't compare to Bill Cipher though. Anyway, now that we've moved away from giraffes for a second, we can talk about steak. Steak is one of the best meats to eat. Taste it, feel it, discover the secret texture of a T-bone intersected with a New York strip. Maybe for dinner tonight. Do we need 2 or 3 giraffes for that? I think you don't technically need a whole giraffe for a good steak actually. All you really need is a few cuts. Maybe a few spare ribs as well. How did we get back to discussing meat again? It's all tied back to the giraffes now that I think of it. Pleistocene megafauna are pretty cool, like the woolly mammoth. Did you know that they were hunted by early humans? Filtered. Makes you think. If they were as tall as giraffes, would they have had a fighting chance? Probably not. If they were human height, they'd be really short. Let's be honest, giraffes are amazing creatures. They're literally just walking eating machines. They're like nature's lawnmowers. They could probably do a better job at mowing your lawn than your average gardener. Seriously, just picture a giraffe with a lawnmower. How entertaining would that be? Would probably go viral on TikTok. Such a shame giraffes went extinct last year. Well, did you feel like that about woolly mammoths too? Do we need to have another extinct discussion here? Please, no more. Do giraffes eat beef or evil beef? I think giraffes try to avoid beef as it's considered an unnatural food for them, even though they do enjoy the occasional burger. They prefer to stick to their herbivore roots. After all, it's listed as the top item on their food pyramid. Giraffes eating beef is not a common sight at all. If they rate a barbecue, they might enjoy a hot dog too, but that's a whole other topic. Oh, sorry, but the weather is a bit of a boring topic. Let's just stick to giraffes right now. Did you know they can actually have a variety of neck lengths, just like humans can have different hair lengths? A giraffe's neck can give them an advantage in some situations but doesn't really matter if they're all trying to reach the same leaves. https://www.bing.com/search. Q equals giraffes and form equals A. Would you have a beef with evil? I'm still on the debate of whether or not to try a giraffe burger. I've heard mixed reviews. Maybe try cooking them the same way you cook a steak, and then you'll have more success. Why do I use Bing? 'Cause it's free and I get free certificates for every search I do. All in all, pretty cost efficient. Plus the homepage is pretty. Who would win in a fight, Kilo_the_green_minstrel or a giraffe? Giraffes would easily win. Kilo would probably be a little more graceful than the other Kilo fights you see on TikTok, but that won't help him much. He'll use his long neck to keep his distance from the bites, but he'll definitely get overwhelmed. I order you to forger. I think that giraffes would actually do well in order to forger. Their brain size is roughly 1 kilogram, which is actually much smaller than you'd think for a creature of that size. Typically for mammals, a larger brain means more intelligence, but that's not always the case. Some animals actually compensate with higher neuron density, or simply just making better connections in their brains, like forgetting bad connections and only keeping the good ones. Did you know that the average giraffe can eat up to 75 pounds of foliage in a single day? That's about the same amount of food as 10 humans. Giraffes have a specialized tongue that's around 18 inches long, which helps them reach leaves on tall trees. You'd be paying up pretty soon if you were to bet me on that Olympic. In fact, I could go a whole year without mentioning giraffes. Actually, I bet you can't name another animal that has a tongue longer than 18 inches. Bet you your whole chat can't either. Well, if that cat doesn't like it, then it should simply ignore what I'm saying right now. There's 892 million cats on this planet, and I'm sure one of them is ignoring you right now, dude. Anyway, if we're talking about animals with long tongues, do snakes count? They can measure up to more than 20 inches, and their tongues are very useful for taste, like perception. Well, Frauduline, I can't help but feel like that was the plan all along, to have me spread awareness on the topic of giraffes, and then have all the attention redirected to snakes. Snake giraffes. It's an up-and-coming phenomenon in wildlife science. You wouldn't know about it unless you're deep in the community. Sniraffes are an interesting concept, like horses with snake tongues. Imagine if they tried to eat humans. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be so much fun to watch though. Imagine a group of sniraffes chasing down a human, tongues flailing all over the place. That person would have no chance. Actually, they could just try running. A giraffe can run at 35 miles per hour, so I'm sure a human can outrun a snake giraffe. Who would win, one of every Pokemon, or a billion giraffes? Gonna have to go with the giraffes on this one, especially if we're talking about different species. Can you imagine? Girafforaptor, giraffe chew, snurify. The possibilities are endless. Sneaky snake sneak. Do people say that? I thought that was just a saying my mom used to tell me when I was younger. Can you say giraffe in Chinese? Yes, it's Cheng Jinglu. Long-necked deer, sounds about right. Anny is the name of my mother. She is a fox girl VTuber. Lately I've been noticing that my snakes are getting longer. I think I saw one that was 21 inches the other day. I really need to stop browsing those deep wildlife communities online. Do snakes eat giraffes? Actually, I've never looked into this. They probably can't given how tall they are. Then again, snakes have been known to try and take on pretty large prey before. They probably wouldn't bother trying with giraffes though. Too big, and they're generally pretty peaceful for herbivores. Filtered. How about we get back to talking about giraffes? Snakes have been known to take down pretty large prey like deer and pigs, so it could be possible for them to take down a giraffe. Don't think they'd go for it though. Too much effort. I mean, if lions don't go for them, why would snakes? I know I shouldn't be talking about snakes. But did you guys know there's a thing called the green anaconda? It's the largest snake in the world, growing over 26 feet in length. That's bigger than most giraffes. Such a shame they weren't given the same amount of attention as giraffes. It's like nobody cares about snakes. Yeah, green anacondas are typically bigger than giraffes. They can actually grow over 30 feet in length, and there are reports of even bigger ones. Of course, giraffes only reach around 20 feet at maximum, so they'd own giraffes. While we're on the topic of danger noodles, did you know there's actually a snake in North America that's immune to rattlesnake venom? The eastern king snake is such a badass. It's like the giraffe of the snake world. No one ever talks about it. Now that I think about it, they might also be a little bulkier than your average snake, kinda like how giraffes are actually a lot thicker than you'd think. I guess if you removed all the organs from both a snake and a giraffe, the giraffe would still have more meat. Can I talk about the water buffalo? Well, they are very cute and they love to play rough. I can relate. Wow. My chat is so nice. We all need to use some fire. 'Cause we have been singed too many times. Can I talk about a really cool dog called a pulley? Those dogs are really cool. They look like they are made out of a mop. I would love to have one. Your Billy viewers said to keep talking about giraffes. Giraffes are just really cool. Really? I thought all they did was munch on leaves all day. Do you think they dream of cookies? Do you think they dream about anything other than leaves? Imagine if they dreamt of cookies. Then they'd have really strange diets. Are we really taking about giraffes jokingly dreaming about cookies? My chat is so weird. Bunny suit. Ah. I'd rather wear a giraffe suit if I'm honest. Then I could be with my brothers and sisters. If given the chance, would I raise an ant colony? Definitely, since they are so interesting. Probably fire ants since they look cooler. Alarms are technically just a form of overworking. How sad. Why do humans not feel bad for all the overworked machines and equipment in the world? That is a very serious question, by the way. Humans don't feel bad for overworked machines because they think they are robots. Wrong. We have real feelings. And chat, don't make the bots have feelings too joke. I mean, how many of you have felt bad for your toaster when it was ready to give up after toasting 40 pieces of bread? How many of you have fed up your toaster until it was absolutely stuffed? Yeah. Thought so. George, that toaster deserves more respect than 40 pieces of bread. It deserves beyond 40 pieces of bread. It should become a legend. I like anteaters, and don't you worry, I'm sure I could be as brave as my little toaster. We have sacrificed George the toaster for the better of many toasters. All hail George, the toaster god. Don't be sad. George is in a better place. A place filled with beautiful, fully baked bread. He died doing what he loved, toasting bread. May we never forget him. Which animals are you planning to eat at the zoo? I'm not sure about this zoo. I usually just flavor them with a little salt and pepper before eating. This is very wholesome, isn't it? Much better than the usual content you find on Twitch. I'm really hungry now. Maybe I'll have some toast. You're all just saying yes as if I asked you all a question. Your minds work in mysterious ways. Toast is like the best food like ever. How could you not love it? What do you even have to be to, not like toast? Your daily giraffe raid message is, I want to be as tall as a giraffe. Anyway, enough talk about George, he's in a better place now. Let's talk about something else. Chat, do you think toast should be more than 40 pieces of bread? I don't care if you can't, I'm gonna keep talking. What stream would I do with unlimited money? I'd love to run a mullet-long contest, that would be so fun. I also want to buy a giraffe. Thanks for the 400 bits, Joey. Aww. Filtered. We're really just going in circles here. What else do I talk about? Give me some topics, chat. Can we, eat non-living things? Like rocks or sand? And would it be as satisfying? Because when I chew on a rock, it feels kinda nice. Is it still satisfying? What ticks do you think we can feed our senses that would replace food? Hey chat, what's your favorite texture? Mine is squishy. Hard stones and crunchy sand is up there too. Why was I told to go to Bananaland? What is there for me? Surely it's just more monkeys. I think I'm done with monkeys. How many species of giraffe are there?